everyone, it's Anahita Rao back again. I want to speak about planets, and I'm going to make a planet series because I think it's very, very essential to keep going back to the basics with Vedic astrology. Because often I find that when we get so advanced in our knowledge, we tend to overlook the fundamental things, the nature of the planets, the qualities of the houses and everything. So I think it's important to always revisit and redress that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start with the planet series, and I'm going to finish it by tomorrow. So the first planet that we're going to speak about today is the moon, which is the fundamental reference point of any birth chart, because when we calculate the timelines, when we give predictions, when we see the planetary strength and weaknesses and how they're operating with each other, we always use the moon as the main reference point. So the moon is really the core of the chart, along with, of course, the sun. So I want to start with the moon. The moon basically it represents the mind, and so because it fluctuates, it's waxing and waning all the time. We know that the mind isn't necessarily stable in its nature. So the moon becomes the most focal point for a chart, and to understand what's going on with the moon is necessary and definitely the first step. Okay, so now what is the moon? So the Sanskrit name for the moon is Chandra, meaning reflective force. Meaning basically that the sun sends out rays of light, and the moon reflects them back. So they always work in tandem with each other. When you see the moon itself in a chart where the moon doesn't have any other planet sitting in the same house, or it doesn't have any planet sitting the left or right of it, then this person normally feels quite isolated and lonely and unsupported in life. And because the moon always represents the mind and the consciousness, it is also symbolic of the feminine principle. So when you have this isolated moon, which is also called the Kemadrama yoga, if you want to use the technical term. This is something to see very closely. There are, of course, there's cancellations to this. For example, if the moon is in Kendra from the Lagna, then that's quite helpful because it stabilizes the energy of the moon more so. But the first thing to look at is where the moon is and whether it has any accompaniments. Because anytime you've got a planet with the moon or around it, you know that it's somewhat supported, even if the planet is not necessarily a friend. It's still good to have some planet there. So the moon, of course, signifies our thoughts, our emotions, and because it's, as I said, waxing and waning, of course, it means that it is always fluctuating and it is always changing. It's connected to water. So energizing the moon with mantras and making sacred offerings of water and milk and honey on a Monday, which is the day of the moon, is considered to be very auspicious. Planting flowers also helps to heal our karma, in the sense that you are basically giving birth to something. what I normally suggest, and in fact do myself on a very regular basis, is a pranayam technique of some sort to make sure that your mind and your emotions are stabilized. And if you do this on a regular basis, you will definitely see the results, whether or not you have a badly placed moon, or maybe you are going through a period of a dasha that is very difficult. So always go back to the moon, look at the core of the chart, and see how to remedy it from there. Now, the Karaka for moon, of course, are emotions. It is the mind itself. It's your mother. It's a sense of security. It is also symbolic of the left eye. Any form of liquids, because that's representative of water. The heart itself. Sleep, of course, is synonymous with the mind, and happiness. When your mind is at peace, you will definitely be much happier. And even travel to some degree is symbolic of the moon. So, you know, in charts that you see a very strong moon, either in you know, the 9th house or the 7th house or the 12th house, you do see a lot of travel in this person's life. So yeah, so those are some of the basic principles of the moon. Thanks for watching, and I will continue to make more videos on the other planets.